I'm Bruce Hartman, Director of the Nerman Museum of Contemporary Art at Johnson County Community College. And I'd like to thank all of the artists that are attending this evening, all of the artists who submitted work for the exhibition, regardless of whether your work was actually selected or not. It's due to your efforts that exhibitions such as this can actually be organized and presented. It's an enormous amount of work on the part of the artist, on the part of the people who organize exhibitions like this, and I offer my great thanks to all of you involved in this process. It's a wonderful tribute to Bob Endress, and it's a wonderful thing for the city of Prairie Village to sponsor. I should mention that at Johnson County Community College and the Nerman Museum, we have a strong commitment to collecting the art of work or artists from our region. As a consequence, we have almost 1,000 works of art in the collection, and roughly 30% of that collection are pieces by artists that have a connection to Kansas City or our region. We also collect a wide range of mediums. So we have a very significant contemporary clay collection, photography, works on paper, paintings, all the way to contemporary Native American art. That collection is distributed across the campus so that almost 700 pieces are on permanent view, not just within the walls of the museum, but actually within the corridors, the hallways of the campus, the dining halls, etc. Not unlike what you're witnessing here this evening, where the work is displayed in this facility. Having mentioned that, ultimately, I did have to narrow down to 3 winners. When I'm doing this, I'm looking for a range of things. I'm obviously looking for artists that I feel have a certain mastery of their medium, the technique, but also content. And ideally, you've got a situation where there's a union of those 2 factors. And I think all 3 of the artists that received the prize tonight, there is very much a certain mastery of technique, but there is also content to the work underlying it. It was also nice to award these different prizes to a range of media, from an artist that's doing a more traditional oil painting. And I have to say that I enjoyed the fact that the Sprint Center is depicted in that scene of Kansas City. It makes it absolutely current and relevant to right now in this city. The work on paper, American Natural History, is a combination of colored pencil, watercolor. I think it's interesting, its relevancy to environmental issues today, the preservation of our wilderness, our natural areas. The depiction of the Grand Canyon really takes me back to historical images by Thomas Moran and other artists who were working so valiantly to preserve national parks, to create national parks. And the dioramas of the taxidermied animals really makes one wonder if that's how we will eventually enjoy much of wildlife, particularly when you see the polar bears depicted in one of those images. Obviously, superb technique to that piece. The 2 ceramic works. I happen to be a huge fan of contemporary clay, and the college will eventually have a national destination collection for contemporary ceramics. Those 2 pieces certainly put me in mind of some of the earlier artists, Henry Varnum Poor, who actually was from Kansas and was trained as a painter, but then really moved into ceramics and decorated works, oftentimes with scenes. This puts me in a mind of that type of work and a kind of a masterful depiction of an image with the actual plate or shallow bowl itself. Again, thank you all for all of your efforts. It isn't easy out there in the arts, and we're all aware of that. And yet you add so much to our community, to our region, and the work here tonight certainly reflects that. Thank you.